Do the Browns even have a chance now with all this COVID stuff that's happening?
Let me ask you a question. You said if they had their head coach, you would stand by it.
Yeah.
How many yards was he going to run for?
160, 165.
All right. How many touchdown passes was he going to throw?
2, I believe.
Okay. All right. Well, then I understand it. I mean, but no. Look. Do they have a chance? Yes. I'm more interested in what happens if they have to postpone this game. What does the NFL do?
Well, first things first is they will not postpone this game because it is not the Steelers, it is not the Chiefs, it's not the Packers, it's not the
if Baker Mayfield
Ravens.
comes down with a positive test, if Nick Chubb comes down with, there is no way you can tell me. Even look, I get what the NFL has done to some of these teams. I get how they handled one team versus another team and all that. I understand that, but this is the playoffs. If you're going to tell me you're going to make the Cleveland Browns play without Baker Mayfield or Nick Chubb,
yeah, they are.
I don't even.
Okay, so
I disagree, and I would hate that decision. I would think that is a horrible decision.
Okay, so let's say in theory, let's throw a name out there. Like this is all going to be sitting around the quarterback Baker Mayfield because the quarterback is the primary spot on the field, right? When the ball is snapped, he touches the ball like every time. With that being said, let's say Baker Mayfield does get COVID and they decide to push that the game or two so Baker can play. Okay, so therefore, yes, the Steelers get a couple days extra rest. They get a couple days to prep and like all that shit, right? Yada, yada, yada. But then they have to turn around and play Sunday afternoon. Do you have to push that game back then too? Or do the Steelers get the short end of the stick again and they have to play 2 playoff games in 5 days or let's say 6 days, right? And then they just played 3 games in 12 days just a week ago or two weeks ago.
Again, to a lack of a plan by the NFL.
What kind of plan would you put in place in this, though? Like a team comes down with COVID.
I would have had a bye week in between each playoff game. So that's what I would have done if I was the NFL.
What would be the point of battling for the first overall seed then? Like at that point. So
this isn't a normal season, though, Buck. That's what I'm saying. This isn't a
think
normal
about
season.
this.
This is a season you have to prepare for the work. You cannot have where you say Baker Mayfield gets a positive test. You cannot tell me, yes, the Cleveland Browns have to play this game. That is asinine to me.
Is it though?
Yes.
Because if you move back
City
one
Chiefs
game,
are playing this week, and Patty Mahomes came down with COVID, what does that do to the Chiefs?
it makes them play next week because they got a bye week. But I see what you're saying. Like the Chiefs, the Chiefs are a shell of themselves. Yes, but what happens if Patrick Mahomes gets a sprained ankle? It is the same thing. Do you let's hold this game off for six days for like a sprained ankle? How is it different?
That's an injury because that's an injury. COVID is something that you can plan for. An injury is not. COVID is something where you could have had a plan in place for some sort of. I don't care if they have to play Wednesday and then their following playoff game gets pushed till Monday. That's fine with me. But
that is fine with you. But what about the teams that then have to, like all of a sudden change their whole week to? So, like, what you're saying, like, it makes sense in theory, in the regular season. But the simple fact of the matter is you are in the postseason, and every extra day is so beneficial for that team because you have nicks and bruises. Like, you are an old man, and you've had, injuries, sprained ankle, shoulders, like, etc. I mean, like, you guys don't understand this, but from one day – you can feel total crap. You cannot even put on your shoes. 24 hours later, you feel like $1 million. So, I mean, it just like.
So you're telling me you can't do that to Pittsburgh because it puts them at a disadvantage, but you're telling me you can do that to Cleveland even though it puts them at a disadvantage?
We have learned this year that the NFL has their marquee teams that they want to win, right? Like whether you want to say it or not, they moved back that Baltimore-Pittsburgh game earlier in the season to like Wednesday afternoon because they wanted Lamar Jackson to play. Be flat out honest.
Money.
You can say what you want.
But then he still didn't even play though.
Yeah, but they were doing everything they could to get Lamar Jackson on the field. Denver Broncos had no quarterback. They had an 8th string receiver play quarterback for them that played like backup in high school or that.
Yeah,
but they made them play.
But yeah, because the game didn't mean nothing.
But it did mean something. Flashback to that game.
I get you. I understand what you're saying. Like I was with you then, and I'm with you now. They did Denver dirty, but that also caused a downward spiral.
Nation. Thanks for checking out that Man Hour clip. You can check out the full episode in the link below in the description, or you can check us live Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. East Coast time on youtube.com/Man Hour. Or you can download the podcast form on Spotify and iHeartRadio as well. Man Hour Nation, stand up.